Hi, Pam. Can you hear me?
Hey, Catherine. Hey.
Good to see you.
I'm so glad to see you.
Hello, and welcome to our 15th birthday party. I don't know, is anybody else a Harry Enfield fan in the room? Well, do you remember that sketch where he suddenly becomes a teenager? Because technically 15 really is when you're fully into it, isn't it? And the transformation. So we're all going to get really moody and stroppy and start writing very rebellious poems after today. That's the plan anyway, hopefully. So welcome, thanks for being here on a rainy evening, and to you at home on Zoom, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, it's our 15th anniversary, so tonight we're going to be celebrating the winners of the International 5-Word Poetry Competition. So we have first, second and third places. Some of those people are in the room and some of those will be joining us on Zoom. We'll also have some of the shortlisted people who participated and also people who contributed to the 5-word anthology number 15 will also read a poem. So we have that to look forward to. And the night is broken up into 4 phases. So we had poetry films a little while ago, which I think you're all watching really intently. Yeah. Then we had a little announcement which just happened, and now the 5-word challenge, whereby you, the audience, offer up 5 beautiful words, simple words, basic words, rude words, any words you like. 1 word per person, and we'll also take words from people on Zoom. So fire out your words, and the first 5 words are the words that will be chosen.
We have Nocturnal.
Nocturnal has come in from Zoom. Beans or beans? Beans. Oh, like beans. I am a humming bean.
Are these the 5 words we're working on? Sorry, a phone call. Are these the 5 words? Intrusive, nocturnal?
No.
No?
Those have been called out and suggested. We haven't chosen them yet.
Oh, okay.
We take the first 5, no?
Yeah, they take the first 5. Intrusive.
Yeah, but which have come from the room?
There's only one come from the room, so we'll take 1 more from Zoom.
We'll look behind you there.
Oh, I have quite a few.
Okay.
Intrusive.
Drunk.
From the room now. We'll be fair, Zoom people.
Transcribe. We've got Nocturnal.
Liminal.
What?
Liminal.
What the heck is that?
You're like the voice in my head or over my shoulder because I can't see you. It's very strange.
Is that like limerick? Limeral. Never heard of it. Let's not use that one.
Liminal. And isn't it great there are words that we have not yet discovered and we just discovered?
Liminal. No, it is not great.
The space in between spaces.
As that's liminal?
The liminal spaces. The spaces in
Oh, boy. Okay.
We've got four words. We have.
So it's a noun.
We have 4 words. We have nocturnal. We have beans, as in baked beans. We have intrusive, as in the voice in my head.
What happened to alchemy?
We have liminal.
I like alchemy. I don't get to say. Okay, never mind. Intrusive.
I only have 4 words. Could
Can you read those
words again?
Yeah.
Echo. Echo is the next word in the list there, I think.
And alchemy.
No, you're too late, I'm afraid.
But that was already there. That was already there at 12:32 p.m. with Daniel. That was before liminal. I'm so obnoxious. I'm sorry. I'm an American. Okay.
Could you read the 5 words again?
Could you
It's
please?
enough excuse being American. It really isn't.
Oh, crap. Okay. How about I'm a New Yorker? I'm a New Yorker. That'll do it. Okay. Nothing.
So we have our 5 words. Yeah.
What are they?
Nocturnal, beans, intrusive, liminal, and echo. You have 15 minutes. Best of luck.
You are mean.
Rightio, so you've had your 15 minutes. It's time to get up on the mic and do your poem. For those of you on Zoom, you can put your name and 5-word next to it. Your name, 5 words, if you want to participate. And I will do my best to go from the room to Zoom. All right, so the mic is free.
Hello. I long for a Gaviscon that could neutralize negativity. When there's an acid attack of intrusive thoughts dancing in the blue lagoon at the top of your throat, the monsters are nocturnal, sleeping subliminally, their snores echo through the day, the time you knocked an entire crystal display, and the shop owner tried not to cry. They break and sprout right up to the ceiling, and you ride the growth like Jack in the Beanstalk to find the giants stamping around your mind, moving furniture to find a way to sleep. You're nocturnal, and the world is in your hands.
And next up, we'll have Peter Manos on Zoom.
Actually, you have to read it. Right?
Oh, I have to read his.
It's in the doctor's office. Here it is.
Right. Lunar truth. The intrusive mongoose introduced to Hawaii to reduce the population of rats failed to do so since rats are nocturnal, and the mongoose is awake only in the light of day, echoing an error Nietzsche pointed out about how we rarely make a single mistake. We first do too much, then too little, or did he say the opposite? Does it matter a hill of beans if truth is liminal or lunar at best? Regards, Peter Manos. So someone from the room, so we could do.
Right, it's not that I've been pining all month long, but here we go again. Spirit Tiger. The echo of your call pierces into the liminal spaces of waking into the day, my eyes still closed. Your nocturnal essence has been ghosting through my dreams. Your sweet voice greeting, seeking me, purring. My mind registers a beam of truth in meeting you in the other world, the pain still intrusive of having lost you. As I open my eyes to the light, you remain gone, the echo of your call still ghosting through my days. You go with me forever in my heart now, tiger, your nocturnal essence pouring strength into my soul.
Thank you, Sue. And now we'll have Catherine Ronan on Zoom, please.
Hi, everyone. Wish I could be there. Not possible tonight. I can't bilocate yet. So, my poem is called Apology of a Nocturnal Writer. Birds crack the dawn in two with the echo of another world. And in hypothermic but excited state, I climb into bed next to you. Masterpiece typed until it is ripped to shreds tomorrow. Purple shadows kneel before the altar of lost liminal eyes. And I mourn the tidy housekeeper who eats reams and beans for breakfast, kisses the children with intrusive black and white tongue, and apologize again.
And we'll go to the room now. If there's anybody. Antonio.
Hi. So my poem here is called Movement Number 1. Echo sound system. Falling sky over a liminal star. Intrusive galaxy. Painting the nocturnal vertigo. Planets of fire. Melting the hard surface of magic beans. Thank you.
And now we'll go to Zoom with Laura Face, please.
Hi. This is a visit to the writer's zoo. And here we have the poems. They are nocturnal creatures who dwell in liminal spaces, shy little monsters subsisting on a mixed diet of intrusive thoughts, echoes of past loves, and occasionally beans on toast. Approach at your own risk. They might try to escape using your head as their getaway driver.
Thank you, Laura. And somebody else in the room? Cedric, are you ready?
The sun sets irremediably. The clouds blanket the sky with a plaid of shadows and lights. Each line of fluffy beans seems to be darker, bluer echo of the one before, closer to the horizon. As the main guest disappears rapidly, the stars finally regain the place stolen temporarily by the clouds, which, no matter how intrusive, finally fuse with the night. It is a moment when the nocturnal realm sees the light of the day and its life. A strange moment of communion, a daily truth for ephemeral and liminal.
Thank you, Cedric. And next, can we have Peter Langdon on Zoom, please?
He's muted though.
Sorry, Peter, you're muted there, so you might just unmute yourself. Thank you.
Oh, hi everyone. Apologies to Laura, this seems to be a bit of a theme. This one's toast. The space between beans, limited by the source of New York, like some liminal echo in the heat of the night, intrusively forcing bubbles, popping at the filling stage for the nocturnal hunger that can only be satisfied by beans on toast.
We've got a beans on toast theme going on. And anybody in the room want to get up here? Aha, Shauna Lee Lynch down from the Dublin. Here we go.
Thanks. Nocturnal space is empty, the silence, it sits. Beans of banter bubbling, the hungry fox it licks. The echo of the dance hall, nights all filled with bliss. Intrusive thoughts all thought of with beep bop bip. That liminal place it echoes, a giggle swells somewhere. Fast strobe lights and fast BPMs, laissez faire.
Martin Brown on Zoom, please.
Hi there. This is a short one. For want of a better title, it's called 5 Words, and it probably stretches the rules to breaking point. Here we go. 5 words, 15 minutes of fun. Can a limerick include every one? Nocturnal, intrusive, and beans, and 2 more by such devious means. Echo and liminal, and I'm done.
Thank you very much, Martin. And we'll stick with Zoom for the next one. Can we have Catherine Baden, please?
Hi. Well, I really got to like this word liminal, and my piece is called Beans, Beans, Beans. I'd planted my yearly rows of beans so they were liminally placed between my garden and my 2 neighbors' gardens, both of whom were really pissed. And I don't mean in the good way of being pissed drinking copious pints. Rather, pissed in an annoyed, irritated, cheesed off, and bloody well put out way. My neighbor Derek, whose squash garden bordered on the far left of mine, looked at my neat and tidy rows and roared with displeasure. The only way I'd accept these intrusive, liminally planted beans is if they were nocturnal and hid themselves during the day. My other neighbor, Celia, whose flower garden bordered on the near left of mine, echoed the exact same thing. Outrageous, she barked. Beans or no beans, they are an absolute eyesore, and they are liminally planted between our garden and yours. So you'd best share your beans with us this year, or I'm calling a copper. I calmly looked first at Derek and then at Celia. Well, I said placatingly, I suppose so, as long as you agree to accept them as liminal and not criminal. And beans being counted, everyone lived happily ever after. Thanks.
There's a word now, indeed. Thank you. Thank you for that one, liminal. And next, we will have somebody in the room, if there is somebody in the room. Mags Cregan, great.
Thanks, Mary. Sorry. No, muscle my way. Right. Okay, this is childhood reading. Intrusive thoughts chase the dreams, nocturnal interference, the chattering night beings, slipping through layers of guard lights, through liminal consciousness, echoes of what's pushed aside into the liminal until there's darkness. Jack slowly climbs to control her, beanstalks, peaceful thoughts. Too late for beauty sleep. She's sleeping with the enemies that she's been fought. Dark fairy tales and braiding hair, tresses left down across the pillow. Rapunzeled himplats hang there for Rumpelstiltskin to stilt up and climb up nice and slow. Turn to the right and shake it to the left. No escape in the heat of the sheets where the clocks melt. A Dali silver melting spoon for a moon. A kibosh, a bosh for earthly delight. A Francis Bacon, shots of a red room and plenty of slashes and gashes of a blood red moon. Down to the fridge for a Rice Krispie bowl. A shot of CNN, an earshot of opera, African jazz, of Louis Theroux. Back to my dreams, more fascinating by far. Reprogrammed with Crispies, cookie peanut butter jars. Tuned out the dark fables that haunt children's thoughts. New jukeboxes for an indigo moonlight sonata of tonight. That's it.
Thank you, Mags. And now we'll go to Philip Spillane on Zoom, please.
Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me clearly. It's nice seeing you all. The Warlock, the Nocturnal Bean. The Nocturnal Bean, the Warlock that dances in the storm of tree time, takes music from the echoes of a baby's first yawn, a painting from the last intrusive thought of a daydreamer. It plants it in the garden cupped in his hands,
It's liminal hope on a threshold of when you wake up after a good dream.
Thank you, Philip. And do we have somebody in the room? Just tell me your name.
Bump. I request refunds and souls sold for a few seconds more. I never used them anyway. And I traded all for magic beans, but it was carried unseen atop stalks stranded in my liminal sky. Now I reside in periphery, unravel in the hushed harmony of nocturnal noises that nudge you from sleep. But you won't wake. Still, I can swim through tar pits of dreams, an intrusive echo. Thanks.
Thank you, Cal. And now we'll have Pam Campbell, please.
Okay, y'all, I'm doing a quick rewrite, so let's see what happens. I thought it was beings, not beans, but I think I fixed it. All right, here we go. Hello, echoes hard back from Canva's circus tent. Hello, below me, blinding white light covers, nocturnal beings, breaking black earth, come to see a show. Light-sucking intrusives, reach, wonder. Fall or fly? Liminal space lingering, not past, not future, not present. Soul-sucking space. I breathe deep and long and fly. And thank y'all.
Thank you, Pam. I think you did a good job of fixing it. I was like, how did she change that? Beans. Anyway, that's very good. Next we'll have Rosemary Norman on Zoom as well, please.
Hello, sorry, I'm not sure whether I think I was muted. This is called beans. If you could go straight through, it would be better or not so bad. But no, you are held up between here as you used to know it and nowhere, which you don't need to know. It won't matter. The liminal oppresses you with intrusive thoughts, or you think they are, of death. If you could say what that is, but it's only echoes of the gone already, and you have to come back to life, which is nocturnal visits to the toilet and sleeping into the morning, when we'll ask again if you're okay, and you'll say yes, yes, only I'm not full of beans.
Thank you, Rosemary. Do we have somebody else in the room? Great. What's your name?
Hello, this one's called Bean Counter. Intrusive thoughts have left me nocturnal. My mind is a liminal space through which they drift, but I don't pursue them. I do my best here not to sift. Sometimes they may echo, and I have to remind myself that I am not my thoughts, and I do not need shelter. I am not a tallier, an accountant, bean counter. I should sleep soon. But for now I drink tea, and I make small talk with the moon.
Thank you, Jake. And now we'll have Augustina on Zoom, please.
Hey, hi. Okay. Liminal movements, inducement of needed improvement, a desperate criminal I have become, receiving subliminal messages from the echo of my heart's premises, selecting words carefully, tearfully, and urgently, trying to suppress nocturnal, intrusive whispers of my mind, elusive memories that have left scars behind, cuts that sting, wary of the effects of my offspring. Thank you.
Thank you, Augustina. Thank you. Do we have anybody else in the room? Come on, have you got one done? You wrote it on the bike. He wrote it on the bike.
Between the definite and liminal am I. Nocturnal moon and the half moon make slivers of my spine. An owl in the day, the hummingbird at night. Intrusive as a moment that blinked and then went by. The echo of reflection as it flips from eye to mind.
Well done, Cathal. And now we'll go back to Zoom for Marcella Remond, please.
Thank you, and hi everybody from South Dakota. This is called Don't Speak. Like dried beans in a tin can, your need is intrusive, a jagged edge cutting through empty space. I want softer sounds, those nocturnal echoes that reverberate, set the air vibrating against the back walls of these caves, these holy liminal caverns in me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marcella. I'm looking forward to introducing you later without giving too much away. So is there anybody else in the room here? Brilliant.
Bowie. Mine doesn't have a name because I can't name anything. They echo around my head, intrusive in a way, wanted in another, crowding up that space between thoughts. No time for liminal silences. A nocturnal world of crickets vomiting up cries of confusion. They ping from one point to another, bouncing beams that fly through time, through thought, through me, tearing me from mind to matter, scattering the universal fabric of me until I too echo in the endless, stretching cage of eternity.
Thank you, Bowie. And do we have anybody else in the room? Oh, brilliant, Roisin. Okay.
And you will live with the dead parts of me as I open the liminal lobes of my parietal cortex to your echo like the cry of a kidney bean pierced by an angry pin, and my mind a nocturnal animal scavenging, intrusive, forever savage.
Well, thank you, Roisin. Do we have any more on Zoom? No, I think we're good. Anybody else in the room? Okay, so you guys on Zoom, you've got couple of minute maybe, to type in who you think should be the winner tonight. And we'll tally it with who I think should be the winner tonight, according to the clapometer, and I'll win. No. No, type away and we'll see who comes up to the top. Rightio. We have a winner, and it's a clear winner. It's my the clapometer. Even though the clapometer, you have to listen for the silences and little brief breaths. The breaths that happen after a poem are big, like, you know, they just don't clap that loudly. And the Zoom people chose the same person. So Rosemary Norman, well done. You are our 5-word champion. We'd love to be able to pour you a drink from the bar here and hand it to you, but since we can't, you can help yourself to a tipple of your choice there at home, and we'll be sending you a couple of books. So well done, and thank you for participating. Thank you everybody for participating. Oh yeah. Will you please share your poem with us again? Thank you for that reminder, guys. Sorry, I got a bit verbally running away with myself there. Rosemary, thank you so much. Would you mind reading your winning poem again for us? Thank you. And if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself, that would be great.
That would be nice. That would help. Okay. Beans. If you could go straight through, it would be better, or not so bad. But no, you are held up between here as you used to know it and nowhere, which you don't need to know. It won't matter. The liminal oppresses you with intrusive, or you think they are, thoughts of death, if you could say what that is. But it's only echoes of the gone already, and you have to come back to life, which is nocturnal visits to the toilet and sleeping into the morning, where we'll ask again if you're okay, and you'll say, yes, yes, only I'm not full of beans.
Thank you so much, Rosemary, and to everybody on Zoom who participated also, and everybody in the room. What a great 5-word challenge that was. Pretty impressive.
Personally, I think if you're speaking to somebody who's on Zoom, I think it's okay if you face the screen. I won't be offended if you turn your back up.
Well, I'm facing the camera, you see, because they can see me.
But like, if you can't see what they're doing right behind your head, there's no much point in you facing the camera.
Well, that would be, I guess that's the performer in me, that I feel like I'm talking to the person when I'm talking to the camera, you know.
Rab, you should know by now Rosie has eyes in the back of her head, man.
Jesus. It's a hard job, lads, hard job. I think I need another whiskey. I do actually. Girl behind the bar. when you get a chance, sorry I forgot your name, Emily, hi Emily, would you mind pouring me a Jameson with no ice? Rab's paying. So I'm afraid, lads, we don't have a break right now. I mean, if you need to take a break, you obviously can. I'm not going to wrestle you to the ground or anything, unless you pay me. I'm really cheap, honestly. Anyway, but so a few announcements before we push ahead with the night. Right. So the 10th 5-word international poetry competition. So tonight we're celebrating the 9th. The 10th starts tomorrow. And the words tomorrow will be change, enter, heat, hat, and hesitate. And those of you might be aware that there's a new scheme starting with the government, from the Arts Council, for the Universal Basic Income. It's a pilot scheme, and it's pretty limited. Only 2,000 people in the country are actually going to get it, but you could be one of those 2,000 people. 3,000? Oh, I thought it was 2,000, okay. 3,000 people, better than 2,000. So it opens tomorrow, so I would highly recommend those of you that are pursuing a life in the arts to just go for it. And sure, you never know, you might end up having £325 a week. And you can go around and go, I'm an artist. The government pays me. It's great. Okay, and what else do we have now? Oh yeah, this event is recorded, so yeah, I'm going to make an ass of myself for a very long time on the internet. Great. So that's good for you to know as well, just in case you come up here and make an ass of yourself. It'll be there forever. Yeah. Sorry, Rob? What did you say?
Power cut.
Till there's a power cut. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh yeah, and the donation jar, which is under the horse's head. So thank you very much for all your donations, and you're welcome to put a few bob in there if you have it, and if you don't, no problem. And we also accept donations online via the website and the open stage. And we also like to maintain a safe space. I guess this is more applicable to the people on Zoom, you know, because you've got the chat, so people can talk to you when nobody else knows that you're there talking to you. But so far we've had no problems, but just if there are any problems, if anybody is intimidated or abused in any way by anyone in the room or online, please let us know and we'll get rid of them as quickly as possible. Okay, so tonight we are celebrating the winners of the International 5-Word Poetry Competition, and we have first, second and third place, and also we have the shortlist poets, and then people in the room or on Zoom who contributed to the anthology. You're also welcome to read a poem tonight. So, sorry Paul, do we have Peter Arvin or...
He is there. I don't know if he's able to read. He's not with his audio card. See him there.
Okay. So in third place, we have Peter Arvin Manos, and he has been published in the New York Times, the Yellow Chair Review, Unoya Review, Modern Poetry Quarterly Review, Abstract Mag TV, and in GAB, the Journal of Poetry and Poetics, and elsewhere. Peter has completed 2 poetry chapbooks, Walt Whitman's Wolves and Myriads, which together are part of his unpublished book in progress titled The Real Dirt. Peter works as an industry analyst and strategy consultant in the areas concerning sustainability, wind and solar power, energy efficiency and electric smart grid developments. So well done for coming third in the International 5-Word Poetry Competition, Peter. And he doesn't seem to be. So we're going to watch a little video.
No, we're not.
We're going to listen to an audio file. Cool.
Look if I can hear on Zoom.
Our governments are not rudderless, but rather have pablum or greenbacks or quids or quid pro quos as the syntax of the riffraff running the stuff they do, and running us ragged on either side of the pond, from the centuries-old blunders or blunderbusses of colonists with their flintlocks to today's automated AR-15 bump stocks, efficiently killing, and with quick cleanups, the epitome of our numbness nowadays rather than resiliency. As emergency workers and even some school kids now have battlefield-styled bleeding kits to better respond to mass shootings before the blood of victims becomes crusty. As hunkered victims die in clusters of mass shootings, events which cluster together in increasing frequency, and leave no time to blink between one and the next as gun lobby pundits muster new buzzwords, hovering ready for another one, like buzzards.
Thank you, Peter, and very well done. And I hope your daughter is doing okay there. Peter would have been reading that, but his daughter had to go to hospital. Nothing too serious, I don't think. So that's why we're listening to recording. It was a great recording, so thank you so much. So in second place, we have in the room David W. Evans. So David was born in Newcastle upon Tyne and lives in St. Martin, Jersey. He won the Alan Jones Prize in 2019 and 2021 and was shortlisted in the 2020 and 2021 Bhéal 5 Words competition. I know you're second. Just a good example of perseverance, lads. He has been highly recommended in Acumen in 2020 competition and also in Segura 2021, Storytown, Corsham 2022, and Shepton Mallet Snowdrop Festival competition 2022. His poems have appeared in various anthologies and publications, including Frogmore Papers, One Hand Clapping, Proverse, Acumen, The Honest Ulsterman, Best New British and Irish Poets 2019 to 2021, and Epoch, A3 Review, Madrigal and Drake. So warm welcome please for David W. Evans.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll do my best to make an ass of myself as you offered. Just take a moment to thank Paul and also Mr. Reardon for choosing the poem. And I suppose you all know something about the Emperor Nero. Yes? That crazy Julio Claudian. In this case, it's early days, so a handy headline might be, Teenager inherits empire, mother co-regent, what could go possibly wrong? It's a coming-of-age story that even Hollywood couldn't put a spin on. There's a couple of references which may be handy for me to explain. A lacrimatory, do you know what that is? Yes, it's a vial that the Romans used to collect their tears. Mad things that they were. And also there's a reference to a yacht. Now, one of the assassination attempts that Nero attempted on his mother, Agrippina the Younger, was to create a boat that collapsed in on itself. But Mammy managed to actually swim ashore. So here we go. Finding Nero. The 5 words were wool, ripe, top, drop, carve. Finding Nero. How can lads worry about their looks or universal loveliness once your mammy says you outwomen women and emasculate men? Says you outrival all living and all the dead in Livy's histories and well beyond, starting with Saturn at the crack of time when chaos was toppled, quashed, to make a fitting world for me to rule. A mirror of Phoenician bronze blazes out a similar truth, reflecting back perfection mixed with god dust. Divinity burgeoning, I reckon, and not like that twat cousin either. I'm not mad. Others see it anyway. Carved in the stars, the senator told me. Swear it. A philosopher said he didn't see the point until he felt it, drip by drop, if you get me. I'm Hercules come home, and wear a lion pelt to prove it. That fits me like the purple. The audience ripened to my illusion. They're big on myths, these punters. I would say worshippers, but modesty becomes the becoming godly. I can play mortals too, honestly. Humble roles, Adonis in his happy times, or pool-eyed Narcissus. I do him bored, recumbent, prone to greet a visitor. Forgetting muscle for a minute, I'm bound to mention artistic talents. The shows, the stage, I write, compose, belong in every genre, indulge the critic's tears. I wade tit deep in 5-star reviews weekly. Crack the stoic's dried out wrists into piles of mad applause, ecstatic. The bald bastards rave nightly over dinner, coining plaudits at every banquet. It's what I do. Have them standing for hours. Applause, applause. I lock doors on enjoyment. A true poet ignores entreaties of more. Encore, encore. Wary of surfeit, I forgive without forgetting a flagging clap, the petering out. Those little pitters piss me off, smear my joyous day with shit. Mammy's changing. Yesterday, she picked apart my finest elegy to date. A fine conceit. The stone of Sisyphus speaks, debates the roll down Tartarus Hill, mentions Delphi, adores what I've done with the Colosseum, especially the statue of me, and for all that, Mammy turns, full-faced, and calls it woolly Greek. I spent 1 full hour composing it to lyre parts. The meter seemed to fit. So mad I could hardly speak when, before a senatorial host, I swear I heard her whisper, doggerel, or words close to that effect. One day she'll die. One day she'll die, and I shall fill to brimful a lacrimatory, bucket-sized, a trough. Meantime, I will say, what's your diet, mammy mine? I need you with me yet. Remember Uncle Claudius and his mushroom fest? I will pare away her powers, pluck them idly one by one, like scented petals showered over dear Pompeia. Nothing can sweeten the lemon-sharp pucker of a mother's disapproval, except, of course, her utter removal from this, my earth. By what harm? Poison, sword, or the veiled gift of a yacht? Oh, heavy my heart at the thought of her dying. It's fatiguing to think of the oodles of odes I must write to her memory. Mammy mine, mammy mine. There's another short couple that goes with the idea of tyranny, and there's a lot of them about, sadly, these days. This is Tyranny in the Workplace, and it's called Lone Star. It's a day to sit by a lake and apricate, hire a boat, cluster ducks with bread crusts, slake thirst, meditate on whose round it is to travel barward. Instead, I'm stuck in a room lit like Russian winter, where opinions fall thick as snow. The boss, as some would call him, conducts on foot. The staff, as he would see them, are seated, surrendering up ideas to keep his bonus obese and genius borrowed. She speaks good sense. A sudden rebuttal of the big man's vision that, round here, is something of a heresy. He sees her, slips his tongue between his lips, tastes her sounds, frowns, then frees a sneer, shunting her to silence. Resignation beads in the corner of her eye. Thus he breaks their confidence. Legacy employees, I've heard him say, the women he didn't hire and won't promote. Me, I'm done with rescues. I disengage and watch summer waste through windows, a cat blinking in the sun. And finally, so it's the tyranny of good intention. This was actually sort of a 5-word poem a while back. And Acumen happily took it a couple of issues ago. It's called Of Ruined Novels, and I think we might have all suffered this, or if not, I apologise. Of Ruined Novels. I stole it. If not returning, counts as thieving. Mostly unread, except for paragraphs declaimed in class, and then camped up or croaked for laughs. I barely scraped a pass. And here it is, not a joy forever, more of an albatross, bound in trippy wallpaper. Microscript obscenities surf psychedelic scrolls. Margins filled, scrawled with names. The long drifted, no faces. Second-hand crushers initialed and hearted. The obligatory cock and balls. I suppose the compulsion to read the whole would someday seize me like Stockholm Syndrome. Journey through chapter 1 to page 3 million, pausing only to collect my pension and order up a grave. No magnetic pull paid call to finish what was little started. Miriam still on the swing, snorting sweet pollen from fleshy flowers. Freud's in the wings, directing crap tossed at mothers. The author was English, as popular though dead. Popular if still in print means widely read, or widely read as set text go. Try it again. No, I don't think so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David, and well done on coming second. Well done. That was great reading. And so for first prize, all the way from Zoom, we have Marcella Remond. She read in our 5-word challenge there a minute ago, and she is actually hailing from South Dakota. Yeah, not too far away, I suppose, but far enough. She taught at the University of South Dakota, where she also served as faculty advisor to the VLP, the University's Student Creative Writing Organisation. Her poems have appeared in numerous journals. Her chapbook, The Sea is My Ugly Twin, was published by Finishing Line Press in 2018, and her first full-length collection, The Book of a Crooked Prayer, was published by Finishing Line in 2020. Her recent completed unpublished manuscript, The Sin Ladder, is based on Ireland's Magdalen Laundries. Marcella and her husband enjoy small-town living in their multi-generational, multi-species household. And I'm going to look at the screen now. Rab, watch this, Rab. Look. And you might see here. Thank you, Marcella, for having your prize there beside you. This was made by Michael Ray, who often supports Bhéal. He's a very, very fine artist and a very fine poet too, indeed. And he makes all of the prizes each year, and they're always unique and stunning. So it looks great beside you, Marcella. Well done. Well done. Yeah, congratulations. And please read some poetry for us now. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to try this. Diagwit agus goramagat. And I'm sure that's with a South Dakota accent. But thank you to Paul and to Bhéal and to Maurice for choosing this poem, which after David's poem is going to sound like a haiku, I gotta say. This poem is called Caught, and the 5 words, I have them somewhere here. The 5 words were trace, steal, bluebell, forget, and year. And the poem really is a response to the pandemic. As I'm sure everyone knows, we've been through lockdown, no lockdown, lockdown, no lockdown, and also a response to U.S. politics, which are, the best I can say is that they're very fractious. And so the poem really is about the idea that we keep boxing ourselves in as human beings more and more. So caught. It's best to forget the way the bruised blue spreads under your skin, like seeping seawater, like a cluster of bluebells wilting in late afternoon. Forget each day's constant clanging, the news, death counts, digging in behind new enemy lines, friends turned strangers, their mouths full of burnt slogans. Forget that fear was let go from its cage, how it stalks you, fanged, gone feral, how it steals small children. Forget pleasantries, kindness, long embraces. Forget nostalgia, always biting at your heels. Forget all traces of the time before. In fact, it's best to forget the whole year, decades even, today. Forget the constant unraveling of the beautiful sticky webs we've spent our lives spinning, and in which we've only caught ourselves, having long forgotten how to bite through the silk. Thank you very much. This next poem was shortlisted, which really, I still can't believe it. I am currently the sole caretaker for my mother, who is at the end of her life and lives with me. And I am learning so much about my mother, but also about myself and my capacity to endure. So this is a poem about that experience, and it's called Bathing Mother. The first time I bathed Mother, after the cancer's heat carved the great mountain of her, one I could never approach, into a rutted hill of loose flesh and jutting bone, I noticed for the first time the odd angle of one rib, where some minute fracture, falling against the bedpost, leaning too hard into a kitchen chair, or breathing, had dented an otherwise smooth arc. I traced the rib with a soapy hand, gently wash her back. This new land. There, behind her knee, a scar like a ragged star. Below her disappearing breasts, a curtain of skin where cancer has eaten the muscle and fat. The discoveries of this moment, my mother soaked and naked, small, afraid to look me in the eyes, was something beyond intimacy. It was mystery unveiling itself. It was a gasp without sound, her final unspoken question for me, one I will never be able to answer. And then I just want to read one more poem. And this is from my book, The Book of Cricket Prayer. And it's really just to lighten the mood. And this poem is called, She Is Never Enough. I don't know if where you live, they have potluck dinners, but in South Dakota, we have a lot of potluck dinners, which means everybody gets together for dinner and brings a dish to share, to pass. So this is a poem I wrote originally about potluck dinners. She is never enough. She is a testament, a monument to the comforts of her kitchen, to bad meds, faulty joints, too much breast milk or not enough, to corn and soybeans, long, still winters, to slow metabolisms, abusive fathers, friendless childhoods, romantic betrayals, media conspiracies, patronage, to wild gene pools where breaded, pan-fried fish swim in currents of heavy cream. Oh, the potlucks where her breasts, those banners of bulk, announce her arrival. where even as she reaches the table with a Velveeta and tater tot masterpiece, parts of her are still arriving. Oh, her thighs, their friction, sparking brush fires in the grass. She, a walking, delicious backyard barbecue. Oh, her footsteps or dancing, tribal rhythms that beat our hearts for us. Let us celebrate the plenty of her, the enfolding, the enveloping, the subduing of glass sharp angles and uncomfortable jutting ribs, the quashing of size 2. Let us give thanks for the cornucopia of her, overflowing abundance and radiance, her body in constant undulating motion, her beauty too splendid, too generous to fill only one cup. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Marcella. That was a stunning reading. You truly are a winner. And thank you for reminding me about the judge who I didn't mention yet. Morris Reardon judged the competition, and I think it's fair to say he probably didn't have a very easy job, because all of you are really so well read and written. I'm going to read now Morris Reardon's appraisal of your poem, Marcella. So I'm just going to read that now, and the appraisals of all the winning poets are in here. So if anybody wants to look at those after. First place, Caught by Marcella Remond. Arriving at the winning order has more to do with taste than objective judgment, a matter of what seduces the eye and the ear more than what satisfies a set of criteria. And on another day, one suspects, or in a different mood, other poems might take one's fancy. But Caught, I found irresistible on many readings. It is a beautifully achieved poem. It has a toned perfection both of voice and stanzaic muscle. The repetitive use of the imperative provides an efficient little engine to propel the poem through a world of danger and damage, resonating at times with perennial fears, elsewhere suggesting recent circumstances. And then, almost unnoticed, forget mutates into forgotten. How smart is that? Never, I suspect, has silk, that last word, been used in the context of such forlorn constraint.
Now that's poetry.
Well, yeah, that's Morris Reardon. So yeah, wow, first, second, and third, amazing. Well done, everybody. And now we're going to have some of the shortlisted poets read, and most of them are on Zoom, and we have 2 in the room. Zoom in the room, okie dokie. We'll start off with Peter Longdon, please, on Zoom. Thank you.
Okay. It was such a surprise and such a delight to be shortlisted. It's the first time I've been shortlisted in any competition, so I'm really chuffed about that. So thank you very much to everyone that was involved and to the judges for selecting it. This is called Stream. If I can find it, I'll get you the 5 words were stream, queue, cherry, brim, and self. And I really am not sure where the inspiration for this came from. I guess it's summed up by the last line, which I'll get to in a moment. Stream. I was thinking that this could be something about ducks. They might be beside a stream. Mother Mallard with a stream of ducklings taking their turn, a well-established routine of order, to drop from the grassy black bank with a slight plop into the stream, their invisible duckling feet, supercharged, turbocharged, invisible movement, keeping them stationary against the downstream current, or perhaps a music cue, of the sort sorted seemingly at random by the Spotify algorithm. Other players are also available. Playing 5 little ducks of white, of black and yellow on a stream lined with cherry trees, once a year brightening its passage. A celebration of spring in frosted icing. Or earlier in the year, would locators, January, Japan, February, Fuji, its slopes rising, old below new, built, still building around its brimstone heart. Magnificent in its passive, not dormant self-isolation, steeped in self-aggrandizement, of Shinto influencer in self-promotion, live streaming for the social climbers, now finding themselves immortalized, swimming in a stream of consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Well done for being shortlisted.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, and thank you. Next up, can we have Cindy Botha? I'm probably saying that wrong. Oh, Cindy can't make it, sorry. Next up, we'll have our 5-word chat. Rosemary Norman.
No, this is. I'll tell you what the 5 words were. It was slow, space, electric, fine, and crow. And birds kept on cropping up in the 5 words. And I wanted to get round this one, not make it too birdy. So I decided for some reason to Google crow's feet. And all this stuff came up. You wouldn't believe the stuff that was on crow's feet. So, and this is called Lines from the Lateral Canthus, which you can tell from the poem is this bit. Lines from the lateral canthus of the human eye are called crow's feet already by the 1300s and are known besides as witches' feet, not because witches are old, but because she'd keep foot of crow to cast death spells, as if death didn't come readily without her curse. It came in the terrain of forests and deep valleys in Vietnam, marked crow's foot, full of tight spaces for ambush. And enemies of a popular symbol of peace gave the name to that, though there's nothing in it of ragged talon, and it spared no one a slow aging. Battle fine lines if you must, with fillers, Botox, peels, and laser resurfacing. And yet, studies have found a smile rated more authentic with crow's feet than with none, and the face itself more intelligent, more pleasing. Ask a witch. She won't hear of electric remedies for eventual death, and our notion of chemical ones for flaws left by the habit of laughter is what wrinkles up her grin.
Because we're all worth it, lads. We're all worth it, for sure. Thank you so much, Rosemary. I love that. And next up, we'll have Laura Thays, please.
Oh, sorry. That's my dog. she's also here. My words were date, stitch, remember, bright, and earth. I made it very birdie. It's called Sleep Lessons from Birds. 1. There are dates in the year when the nights are so bright even owls become larks. 2. Remember the kindness of sleep is winged but claw-footed. Sleep looks like an eagle-sized nightjar, poised to swoop down where it spots you. 3. In a nest, on a tree branch, a rooftop, a trunk hole, mid-river, or down in the earth. Choose wisely. 4. Dream of the sky. Dream of yourself as one stitch in a murmuration. 5. Close your grip. Let the tendons in your talons tighten as you perch, and you won't worry about falling. 6. Watch out for the moths. They steal tears while you sleep. Don't let them drink from your eyes. 7. If you ask the swifts, you should sleep on the wing once you are high enough to glide.
Thank you, Laura, and well done for being shortlisted also. And next up, can we please have Kyle Vaughan, please?
Hello, everyone. I think that was a particularly good week because my words are also date, stitch, remember, bright, and earth. And the poem that I wrote is called The Complete History of the Lyric. On this date, in some century, someone discovered a door, or confessed their love, or looked through a telescope. Light burst through a galaxy. Everything was light, and then the disappearance of the moth, silence as wild as the edges of strawberry leaves. I gave up my voice until the hem of her skirt lost its first stitch, unraveled into a green river. How long the journey of desire? It is dust without patience. It is. On this day, you pronounced my name. I dug bright purple ore from the earth, forgot my grief in the year of your eyes. The day it snowed, the whole countryside sang it. The earth remembered it, that landscape that ends at you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kyle. And now we will go to the final shortlisted poet in the room, Owen Hegarty. Make yourself known. Maybe he's not here. He's not here. Okay. Okay, so well done, all of you shortlisted poets. Brilliant, I think it's fair to say. Morris Reardon had a really tough job, but he did a good one. So now it's up to people who have poems in the anthology, people in the room and people on the Zoom. If you're on the Zoom, you might like to put anthology or just Ant and your name into the chat. And anybody in the room would like to come up and read their poem from the anthology?
Is it only other people's poetry night, or is it?
It's just for the open mic.
For the open mic, it's other people's poetry, but you can read your poem from the anthology if you wish. Fair play, Sue. Thank you.
Right, can't see anyone, but at least I can see the lines here. I'm going to read the one that I'm most surprised about that's in the book. So it's the third one that I have. In the book there, and like I said, I'm surprised that it was chosen, and it's also the most sore one, so I'm just going to read it. Gone. The scent of you wakes memories, my love, my girl, now silent and estranged. I drown my missing you in dancing alone, escaping, busifying myself with poetry not mine. Direct my love to my wilder friend, new little tiger purring, cat keeps me sweet. And when you write an angry email cutting, I cough and scoff at your young contempt, and tame my hurt, lick my wounded heart, while waiting patiently until you evolve to return, because forgiveness is the nature of motherhood. And the words were cough, friend, escape, memories, and cat.
Thank you, Sue. Great, we do have a few for the Zoom. Jeff Cottrell, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. So this one I did pretty recently, January 10th this year, and I called it the Truffle Kerfuffle. There was a great kerfuffle over a Spanish truffle. The incorrigible monks were even worse than the drunks. They said that truffle eaters were all sinners, especially when they downed them after dinners. One said it wasn't Spanish, it was Grecian, the only flavor worse than the Phoenician. Another said it was divinely sensuous to eat a Spanish truffle with your mistress. But while these arguers went on with their fray, I stole the Spanish truffle and slipped away and ate it while it was within my power. It was all right. Parts of it a bit sour. So that was the Truffle Kerfuffle. It's on page 53, and the words were Grecian, sensuous, incorrigible, kerfuffle, and monk. And I have a novel that's available for sale. It looks like this. It's called Hate Story. Look it up. Thanks. I'm Jeff.
Well done, Jeff. What was the name of that novel again?
Hate Story. Hate Story.
Hate Story?
Yes.
Ah, good stuff.
It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and pretty much all the internet booksellers.
Barnes & Noble. Forget Amazon. Barnes & Noble.
There you go.
Yeah. So now we'll go back to the room. Anybody? Okay, great. Thanks.
So mine was a winner back in August, and the words were release, beer can, intimacy, hoe, and tofu. The naked mind, blonder brow, Dutch gold, Karpaki. The wind chime tinkle of glass bottles, sunsets trickling through my body. The hollow clang of beer cans, dim morning lights spilling through. I turn my back on Biggie Smalls who shot ya. Now I'm a sober hoe, popping bottles of kombucha. Waking every day to scrambled tofu and bacon, released into uncharted lands of intimacy, and only with this naked mind.
Thank you, Jim. Awesome. Definitely a winner. Next up, can we have Pam Campbell on Zoom, please?
All right, mine. My words came from November 2021, and it was cough, friend, escape, memories, and cat. And the title is Perhaps. Coughs, silky soft torty cat, into dank darkness of junkyard rabble. Tail switches like windshield wipers, left to right again and again. Formidable lines drawn between enemy and friend. Clawful clatter, snarls and growls, escape battle-torn bodies rage. Torty bends, half-bit ear, and body made wiser by life on the lamb. Memories stir of gentle touch and care. Plausibility, sings Torty. Silky, soft plausibility. Song of hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. And back to the room. Great stuff, Cedric.
So this one is from Brendan. Sorry, I'm going to scorch that one.
Read your own?
Sorry?
I'm not going to read your own.
No, I'm going for this one. I like this one. Brendan Mulcahy. I like this reaction. That was a poem written for the 5-word challenge on the 14th of June 2021. The words were cat, baldaquin, constricted, curtain, and floral. Just because you're clueless don't mean you ain't gonna get crowned. and heralded Baldaquin the Bewildered, inherited the throne, succeeded Floral Leviathan's top 5, Primgem Curtain missing out again after that catatonic incident. Constricted in a nutshell, the Danish prince also fell by the wayside. The rest we know. Baldys, Baldans, and the Baldwins is silence.
Thank you, Cedric. And now we'll have Augustina on Zoom, please.
I'm really enjoying this face painting shenanigans. Anyway, I'm reading the one that was the winner on the 14th of June, 2021. And the words were cat, baldaquin, constricted, curtain, and floral. The inspiration was actually our neighborhood cat, who I called Gary. He passed away 2 weeks ago, I found out, yeah. And I found out on the week that the anthology actually arrived, so it was quite like, whoa, Gary, here, bye. Anyway, so this is called All Four Paws in All Four Doors. 4 paws in 4 doors. I didn't choose the street life chose me. Having free things fills me with glee. Actually, why would I ever have one when I can have many? Spoilt rotten I am. I get what I can and then some. House number 5 has a lady who calls me Cat. House number 3 calls me Mr. Black. House number 11 calls me Peter. And the house with the baldaquin and the sequin curtains thinks I'm a girl. See, life is good. Let me tell you why I could never settle down. I will live my youth forever because I have options. I got choices. All of them wrapped around my little paw, giving in to the sound of my purr, purr, purr. Meow! Sardines for breakfast. Meow! Dried for lunch. Meow! That wet pouch with the chicken for dinner. My own designated floral cushion in a warm room where I don't feel constricted. Handy on them rainy days. Easy peasy, scratch on the door, bump my head on the window, nudge with my paws. Yes, master, what is your desire? Yes, master, do you want a rub? Yes, master, have you eaten? Yes, master, it's cold out. Stay inside. Yes, master, here's a snack. Yes, master, have some water. Yes, master, I noticed you don't like the Tesco value pouches. I went to the butcher's just for you. Why on earth would I settle down when I can have all 4 paws in all 4 doors?
Meow. So back to the room. Well done, Augustina. Fantastic. Back to the room. Kieran? Oh. No? Good enough. You can read any poem.
Oh, sweet.
So then we'll go back to Zoom and we'll have a break, I suppose. You have one as well, do you, Max? Come on, jump solo while Kieran is deciding.
We're all baldaquined out. I was going to do the baldaquin one. So I'll just do just the jaunty king of the flat car. Lusty cries of a soggy ragamuffin guy, stranded in the rain. Oh, it's all right for you. You have your sherry oak cast range, while I sip a tin of Eastern bitter. All blue-collared like a Philadelphia lawyer, all fired up on your uppers and downers. In your fancy trilby hat. Bet you think you're at Ascot, but you don't look jaunty to me. You're more like the jaunty king of the Jarvies, the sulky king of the sulkies. Phony alley cats, the lot of you. Impoverished am I, but I have a clear view of the sky. My pen from the IB is free. My ink from my drink-link mind flows for free. I've got my memories, they're rich and free. Sing it, the best things in life are free. Empty pockets, eyes full of stars. I'll huff it off and you'll pay off the loan in your fancy Yankee flat car.
Nice one, Max. Thank you. And now we will go to Zoom and we'll have Catherine Baden, please.
It's Badan, but that's a valiant try. I'm going to read the one I won, whatever, first prize for in 5 words, and it's short. And the 5 words are rain, oak, lust, ragamuffin, and bitter. The ragamuffin. This may start out sounding a lovely story, but it really isn't. The rain came down gently on the oak tree beneath which huddled a teeny tiny ragamuffin. Everything about him was small, from his teeny tiny hands to his teeny tiny head to his teeny tiny widget of a dicklet. Oh, what a sad and sorry ragamuffin. It was almost St. Patty's Day, and he had no one to love him of the same size. You see, he had been trapped under a spell of bitter, unfulfilled lust brought down upon him by an equally tiny leprechaun who, just like the ragamuffin, had teeny tiny grudges.
Thank you, Catherine. Well done. I remember that was only a couple of weeks ago. That was at the last Bhéal, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. Well done. So, Kieran, have you chosen one?
This one was by Matt Mooney on the 14th of February 2022. And 5 words were love, rocking, scorn, edge, and cynic. On a school day, not yet the 60s, rock and roll reared its head on the town's fair green between the stone-walled courthouse and the blue of Lochray Lake. A band of reveling gypsies were rocking around the clock before 1,000 teenage thoughts thrown airborne and caught again in a smashing, thrashing dance just in. And we couldn't wait to emulate to every electrifying Elvis number that enchanted our love lives then. Sent in a spin by blue suede shoes that took us to the limit of our aching, lust for life and living to the edge of all that seemed safe and solid as an old time waltz in a village hall. Gone, gone, gone. Are you going to San Francisco? Carried on up by flower power in the summer air that rocked the cynics on the sideline into liberation, silencing their scorn. Thank you.
Fair play. And I will go back to Zoom with Martin Brown.
Hi again. A very short one. This was from August, and the words were release, beer can, intimacy, hoe, and tofu. And I think even the very day that this was done, we had one of our wonderful politicians suggesting that they should bring in chain gangs for offenders. So with that in mind, I came up with this. Chopping tofu with a blunted hoe is no fair task for high-vis man. I beg release so I can go to seek intimacy with a full beer can.
Thank you, Martin. And just we're aware that Catherine Ronan, Massimo, and Michelle Delay, that you all have poems in the anthology. Catherine, okay. Catherine, we'll have you next if that's all right.
That's great, yeah. Hi everyone, great evening as usual. I won the 5-word challenge, and I'm very proud to say, with the poem called My Christmas Party 2021. The words were devil, carry, wrinkles, love, and Christmas. My Christmas party 2021. The day bristles with Christmas cheer. The red day of St. Nicholas draws near. Devil of queues, if you tarry, laden in the rain with too many paper bags to carry. I've been there. COVID is shit, but masks hide wrinkles. Fairy tale of New York, always worth a tinkle. Santa comes just once a year to those that live beyond the Lee. But we have the man himself here, our very own Paul Casey. Now I send my love to all in this room and to all my new friends on Zoom.
Thank you, Catherine. Do we have anybody else in the room with a poem in the book? Cathal?
Hey guys, this one is from the 13th of September. I had to check, it wasn't Friday. It's called Lessons from the Heart. Glow, rugged, obstreperous skill and float. The skill is to float on the surface until the depth arises, like a worm on a hook, like an ancient, a rishi on a pillow, Brigitte Bardot in a cocktail glass, a thinker in a drunk tank, a drunkard in a think tank, a pharaoh in a honey trance. The skill is to float on the surface until the depth arises. Rugged mind is obstreperous. She must remember how to glow.
Thank you, Cathal. So anybody else from Zoom? No? Okay. Anybody else in the room? Roisin? Brilliant.
Yeah, I was winner, but I think I was joint winner with Massimo. I think he was the Zoom winner and I was the person in place winner on the 8th of November 2021. And the words were cough, friend, escape, memories, and cat. Lots of cats. The cat girl. The cat girl escapes the aviary at night, picks the locks with fire engine nails, sips in the memories left out by all the strays. Lonely chip bags cough up ketchup. It smears the potholed streets like a disease. She licks her tail long with a sandpaper tongue, feigning indifference. All she ever wanted was a friend.
I'm glad you decided to get a broching. Thanks for sharing that. Wow. Anybody else in the room or on Zoom? No. Do you know what that means?
No way. Massimo?
Massimo! Yeah.
Hello. Forgive me for not being prepared, but thank you for inviting me to read as well. This is from October 11th, 2021, and which was also a hybrid event. Chaos, autumnal, yellow, hybrid, and battery were the 5 words. And so it goes, I am not just this or that. just black or just white, just flesh or just spirit. I am a hybrid. My body of energy is not just a battery, it's also a conductor, making anything conducive to experience. The possibilities are so endless, you would think that everything would be chaos. But for some reason, we have clocks, we have clothes, we have language, and find a strange paradoxical luxury in being human. That we can enjoy the unpredictability and the vastness of what we do not know through the safe medium of unbelievably dependable controls. That's the only reason that I can attend an autumnal poetry event in a country all the way across the world, in the middle of a galaxy where the sun is so hot that it turns us yellow from a million miles away. All right, peace and thank you.
Thank you, Massimo.
We're all really yellow.
We're all really yellow, yeah. Mellow yellow. I don't suppose there is anybody else in the room? No? Okay, well that means we can take a 10-minute break before we come back for the open mic. And the open mic is for other people's poetry. So not your own poetry tonight, but you can read your friend's poetry. So if you brought your own poetry, you want to do a swapsy, do a swapsy. Sign up on Zoom, please, and I'm going to fly around with a signing up sheet as well. And just a gentle reminder about the donation jar that was under the head and has gone walking around the room. Hopefully it's circulating. Brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
If you don't have it, it's not a problem.
I'm glad you use it. I'm glad that's exactly what you yeah, it has so much. It has so much, and that's how we require as well. Like my conductor there, she was like, and use them like that, like the first they're right, and then once I was mine, I pay for day on it, so that I'm always behind, and that's the thing. Now, the one remember the voice is something that is dynamic that are only in your notes on the
And it's big. This is like
that'd be okay. So that we can on Friday maybe together, and then Sundays are so we
oh no, we're going on a walk. Maybe a shorter walk.
how I missed it and how it all because of the There's something greater than that, and I understand why I like the book because it's where we're actually dependent I hope my daughter will stop before that happens, so that I can retrieve This was 7 weeks before it came out of the blue. She's snatched as a head by friends to mid and now she's well, not directly.
I'm after writing my own.
So this became a like big row every big row. It was just Sunday. Yeah, but there was more.
I just started writing on the 22nd of March. Just coming out of it, finished.
Do you know what? I know she is.
I haven't got a title for it yet. I'm probably just going to call it the first line of the title,
She
maybe.
doesn't have any
Or try to think of something good.
in not even
But
research.
I've read it out to my friends and family, and I really like it. So I'm happy.
And so that's doing
I think I have
with
some
someone.
stuff that I want to get down. I think
That's all I know, and I know it's my mom. And you the very bureaucratic stuff.
I noticed, yeah, your man Massimo.
She has an issue with yes, how's that time? I'm not like every day, but she has drawn to
She's very realistic in comparison. I remember enjoying the poetry then. A 6 is probably for 8 months now. These are chances for exercise. So passionate I'm using that kind
Welcome back. Hello, yeah, very unlucky poetry host I am. My words all mixed up. My brain falls out my ears sometimes. But sure, I'm here and doing my best. Great, got your attention. Fabulous.
That's all right. That's all right. I can put you on the list. First up, we're going to have somebody that needs to go catch a bus at some point. And he's still talking down the end of the bar there now.
Do you need to catch a bus?
Doe Harding. First up there now, and you'll be able to catch your bus. No problem.
You go. Can I get back to you as well?
Okay.
Can't read that. And it's not true, is it? The last fiver I had. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right. Paul can hear me. I just want to say well done to Paul. I was there on the first night 15 years ago. Where was it?
Cat Club.
Cat Club. And here he is 15 years later and is still going strong and it's internationally known. Well done. Great stuff. Well done, Rosie. This is by Kavanagh. He's, I suppose you all know about him. He wrote it in Egypt, in Alexandria in Egypt in the 20s and 30s. It's called This City. And the reason I love this poem is because sometimes I meet people from Cork and they say this is the bollocks of the city and there's nothing here. Blah, 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 blah. And I carry this in my pocket and I say nothing and I just take it out and I read it. This city, you said, I'll go to a different country, cross the sea, find another, better city than this one. Here, everything I do is wrong, and my heart is dead and buried as a corpse. How long should my soul suffer here? Wherever I turn, anywhere I look, I see the burnt cinders of my life, here where I spent too long doing nothing. You will find no new sea, no new country. This city will always dog you. You'll roam the same streets, go grey in the same houses. You'll always end up here. Forget anywhere else. You've no ship, no road. The life you've wasted here, you've wasted everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Who is that by? Kerfuffle. Wow, okay. So now we'll go to Zoom and can we have Augustina, please?
Staying on theme of the cat, and 5 words. I'm reading one by Ray, that was the winner on the 8th of November. You have Cough, Friend, Escape, Memories, Cat. It's called The Bitter Kitty. It's not easy, friend, being a cat. That fur doesn't lick itself, you know. Yeah, you get your food handed to you, but that's no good. I prefer the chase. Yet I made out the criminal for the fancy. Would you like to have been separated from your darling mother at such a young age as was I? Nah, I didn't think so. My kittenhood rearing doesn't make the fondest of memories. The moment I cough, the humans who think they own me think that I'm sickening to death. So off to the dreaded vet. I can never escape. So if you ever say, I have the life, I'll scob your goddamn face off.
Thank you, Augustina. And next up, we will have Margaret O'Regan, please.
Thanks, Rosie. This particular one is by Martin Hayes and it's in a collection called Underneath. They're Labour poems. And don't forget that May Day will be coming up soon and we'll have, I'm sure, marches and talks and all that sort of thing, every place, anywhere where anyone lives. So don't forget to participate in May Day. This is called Where the Blood and the Bone Can Be Seen. It's not the stamina that these men show, coming in every day for years, only to be nipped at and pulled at like bait in a shark pool that I can't fathom. It's not the anxiety that these men have learned to live with, seeing their colleagues marched into HR for no apparent reason other than to keep them on their toes, whether or not it will be them next that I can't fathom. It's not the cheek-turning swallowing of rage, that these men seem to have mastered, putting up with the constant onslaught of being made to feel worthless by supervisors who act like dogs, who need to piss on a man every half hour just to remind him that this is their territory that I can't fathom. It's not even the camaraderie they show, breaking the ice after a colleague on the back of a particularly nasty bollocking can't do anything but sit still, stunned, trying to digest the insults and threats. Somebody finally squeezing him on the shoulder, telling him, "Don't you mind that prick, mate? He's only taking it out on you because his missus keeps asking him if it's in or not whenever he lays on top of her," causing the whole control room to crack up in forced laughter. Mending the wound, stitching back up their openness where the blood and the bone can be seen, so that they can all carry on working, carry on breathing for a little while together. No, that's not what I can't fathom. What it is why some of these men have never thrown down their headsets, got up from their chairs and stormed down to the workshop to pick up a steel wrench, only to come back and smash it over the supervisor's head again and again and again until there is no life left in him either. That's what I can't fathom.
Jeez, I'm glad I don't work in that factory. Thank you, Margaret. I think. Next, can we please have Jim Crickard?
Oddly enough, this is another workplace poem. It's by a very talented poet called Philip Spillane. It's called the Server Hermit, and it's like where spirituality meets working in IT. Servers, hum through their services like big boxy bits of Buddhas locked in iron cages, their green eyes winking at me as I pass on. I shift through this shuttle where air conditioners prolong this heat wave with this exhausting ice age. At the back lays a midnight black Dell Optiplex 360 with its dark braille door ajar. In there its motherboard tingled electric emerald like Mother Earth. A boarded circuit garden, pagoda chipsets, extensions and RAMs, snowed in under by flakes of dust. I clip in the USBs and screw in the lilac VGA. I shove a power cable up its backside. Fan exhales. Finally, I press its bindi and ignite its whole nature, like a beast awakened from suspended animation. The monitor blinks and displays its GUIs like psychedelic flowers in dawn. Tom-tee-tee, tom-tom-tom. The Windows XP chimes. It tells me things it's doing and done in passive mannerisms. My faithful familiar, I subside in the hum of the server forest, kept away from the windy variable outside where elements evade. Suddenly the power supply coughs, the computer blinks out, and so do I.
Thank you, Jim and Philip Spillane, who I think is here with us on Zoom, ladies.
Oh, that was great. Woo.
So we're going to go to Zoom now, and if we could have Massimo, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This is what I did was just took different quotes by Leo Tolstoy and kind of ordered them kind of like a poem, but these are all his words. So if everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. One of the most widespread superstitions is that every person has their own special, definite qualities. That individual is kind or cruel, wise, stupid, energetic, apathetic, etc. But human beings aren't like that. We're like rivers. The water is the same in each and alike in all. But every river is narrower here, more rapid there, here slower, there broader, now clear, now cold, now dull, now warm. Every human being carries in themselves the germs of every human quality. And sometimes one manifests itself, sometimes another, and we often become unlike ourselves while still remaining the same person. If there are as many minds as there are heads, then there are as many kinds of love as there are hearts. If I know the way home and I'm walking along it drunkenly, is it any less the right way because I'm staggering from side to side? We imagine that when we are thrown out of our usual ruts, all is lost. But it is only then that what is new and good begins sometimes. Because while there is life, there is happiness. Seize the moments of happiness, love and be loved. That is the only reality in the world. All else is folly. It is the one thing that we are interested in here. If you want to be happy, be. And when you love someone, you love the person they are, not as you'd like them to be. Because it's not those who are beautiful we love, but those we love who are beautiful. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Massimo. And now we'll go to Padraig O'Connell.
Hey everyone. It's just my first day coming in here, but I've had a really warm impression so far. I'm just going to read a song by a band called Pink Floyd. It's called Two Suns in the Sunset. In my rearview mirror, the sun is going down, sinking behind bridges in the road. And I think of all the good things that we have left undone. And I suffer premonitions, confirm suspicions of the Holocaust to come. The wire that holds the cork, that keeps the anger in, gives way. And suddenly, it's day again. The sun is in the east, even though the day is done. Two suns in the sunset. Could be the human race is run. Like the moment the brakes lock, and you slide towards the big truck. Oh no. Daddy, daddy. You stretch the frozen moments with your fear. And you'll never hear their voices. And you'll never see their faces. You have no recourse to the law anymore. And as the windshield melts, my tears evaporate, leaving only charcoal to defend. Finally, I understand the feelings of the few. Ashes and diamonds, foe and friend, we were all equal in the end. There it is.
Thank you, Padraig. I really look forward to seeing you next month and hearing your own poems. And lads, Pink Floyd. I think somebody could make a career out of reading Pink Floyd. Like, really. Next up, we're going to stay in the room and we're going to have Stephen O'Brien, please.
I didn't originally plan on reading anything today, but my friend who brought me along didn't realize that he wasn't able to read his own stuff, so I am a bit of a loophole for him to read his own stuff. This one is called As I Always Have. When my broken pieces are found and skin grows paper thin, faculties crush like strawberries and nerves cold as steel in winter, pull them from the loam soil and wipe away the river's filth. They will rejoin, reform, whole, healing beyond that of folded herbs, lacquers, salves and oils, pricey, except my spirit wavering like a mirage on a desert road, and I will reform again, as I always have. I will love again, given time, because this too shall pass. Yeah.
And it's only right that we follow up with the pal, isn't it? Jake Brigham.
I am the man who found the loophole. This is a poem by an old writer that I really like. You might know him. His name's H.P. Lovecraft. He's not known for his poetry. He's known for his short stories and horror. But this is a poem I really like by him. It's called Night Gaunt's. Out of what crypt they crawl, I cannot tell. But every night I see the rubbery things, black, horned and slender, with membranous wings. They come in legions on the north wind's swell, with obscene clutch that titillates and stings, snatching me on monstrous voyagings to grey worlds hidden deep in nightmare's well. Over the jagged peaks of thought they sweep, heedless of all the cries I try to make, and down the nether pits to that foul lake, where the puffed shuggots splash in deepful sleep. But oh, if only they would make some sound, or wear a face, where faces should be found.
Thank you, both of you. Pals. It's good to have friends, isn't it? Come back next month.
Yes, please.
And now we're going to go to Zoom, please, and we'll have Pam Campbell.
Okay, this is Rain on the Cumberland, and it's written by born Southern Appalachian like me, but like me, he lived in the Central Appalachians. All right, Rain on the Cumberlands. Through the stricken air, through the buttonwood balls suspended on twig strings, the rain fog circles and swallows, climbs the shallow plates of bark, the grooved trunks, and wind pellets go hurrying through the leaves. Down, down the rain, down in plunging streaks of watered gray. Rain in the beechwood trees, rain upon the wanderer whose breath lies cold upon the mountainside, caught up with broken horns within the nettled grass, with hooves relinquished on the breathing stones eaten with rain strokes. Rain has buried her seed and her dead. They spring together in this fertile air, loud with thunder. Thank you.
And thank you, Pam. That was lovely. And next up, we have Patricia Walsh.
I'm going to read a piece by the Bard of Sulphur, John Cooper Clarke. Do you hear him? Well, this is a situation that we've all found ourselves in at some point in our lives. This is called I Married a Monster from Outer Space. The Milky Way she walks around, all feet firmly off the ground. Two worlds collide, two worlds collide. Here comes the future bride. Give me a lift to the lunar base. I want to marry a monster from outer space. I fell in love with an alien being, whose skin was jelly, whose teeth were green. She had big bug eyes and death ray glare. Feet like water wings, purple hair. I was over the moon, I asked her back to my place. Then married a monster from outer space. The days were numbered, the nights were spent in a rent-free furnished oxygen tent. When a cyborg chef served up moonbeams, done super rapid on a laser beam. I needed nutrition to keep up the pace when I married a monster from outer space. We walked out, tentacle in hand. You could sense that the earthlings would not understand. They go nudge nudge when we got off the bus, saying it's extraterrestrial, not like us. And it's bad enough with another race, but fuck me, a monster from outer space. In a cybernetic fit of rage, she pissed off to another age. She lives in 1999 with her new boyfriend, a blob of slime. Each time I see her translucent face, I remember the monster from outer space.
Nice one, Patricia. And we're going to stay in the room for another little while, and we're going to have Cal down the bottom.
My Mother's Garden by Christopher Locke. My mother's garden. Parts of it were stolen. Those thin bands of marsh, grass swaying like women bathed in green light. Those nameless clusters where purple swiped from the grounds of a shopping centre. And there are others, but in the end, it's always her, leading her grown-up son on a tour, pointing out what's new or what's uncooperative. Some flowers, stubborn to rise in May's gold hand. I got these, she says, from Swayze Parkway. They were too gorgeous to pass up. And so she surrounds her life like this, a breathing mosaic stitched into the edge of her world, rebuking all the darkness that had once bloomed within her childhood, where pain crippled like a pair of father's hands, until what was a 10-year-old to do but leap from the top of a greenhouse, dress ruffling the space between heaven and glass, the frail body crashing into itself, a shower of diamond spark raining after, her leg opening like a strange mouth, blood mixing with the crumpled flats of daffodils, and her weeping at the fact that she was still alive to weep. What do we have here? I ask, noticing a new row of iris. My mother smiles, crouching down with me. Oh, these, she says, gently reaching for the petals. These have always been my favorite. Thank you.
Gorgeous, thanks, Cal. And now we'll go to Zoom. To Catherine Ronan, please.
Thank you. One of my favourite poems is called The Thought Box by Ted Hughes. The Thought Box. I imagine this midnight moment's forest. Something else is alive. Beside the clock's loneliness and this blank page where my fingers move. Through the window I see no star. Something more near. Through deeper within darkness is entering the loneliness. Cold, delicately as the dark snow, a fox's nose touches twig, leaf. Two eyes swerve a movement that now and again now and now sets neat prints into the snow. Between trees and whirly, a lame shadow lacks by stump and hollow of a body that is bold to come. Across clearings, an eye, a widening, deepening greenness, brilliantly, concentratedly, coming about its own business. Till, with a sudden, sharp, hot stink of fox, it enters the dark hole of the head. The window is starless still. The clock ticks. The page is printed.
Thank you, Catherine. And back in the room, we'll go to Bowie, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a poem by a Polish poet who I've recently discovered her name is pronounced Wisława Zimbrowska, which I did not know before because I don't know how to read Polish names. But this poem is called Rehabilitation. I wield imagination's oldest right and summon up the dead for the first time. I watch for their faces, anticipate their steps, though I know that the dead is dead and gone. It is time to take my head in hand and say, poor Yorick, where is your ignorance? Where is your blind faith? Where is your innocence, your wait and see, your spirit poised between the unproved and the proven truth? I believe in their betrayal. They didn't merit names since weeds sway in their unknown graves, and the crows mock them, and the snowflakes scoff. But Yorick, all this bore false witness. Tickets to the afterlife are paid by our collective memory, uncertain coinage. Every day some dead man's banished from eternity. I see eternity more clearly now. How we give it, how we strip it from the so-called traitor, how his name dies alongside of him. We must give the dead due weight. Our power over them is what we make it. This court cannot convene at night. The judge presiding can't be naked. The earth surges. Those once turned to earth rise up, clod by clod, a fistful at a time. They leave silence behind, return to names, to the nation's memory, to wreaths and cheers. Where is my power over words? Words fallen in tears' depths, words not meant to conquer death, death record, like a photo in its magnesium flash. I didn't even restore them to half breath, a Sisyphus assigned to the hell of poetry. They come at us, sharp as diamonds. They pass along window shops lit in front, along the window panes of cozy houses, along rose-colored glass, along the glass of hearts and brains, quietly cutting.
Thank you, Bowie. And who was that poet? Wisława Zimbrowska. Wow. Okay. Now we will have Antonio.
Hi, so I have selected one poem of one of the milestones, I'd say, of the Irish poetry. So it's April Dusk of Patrick Kavanagh. April Dusk. It is tragic to be a poet now and not a lover, paradised under the mutest bow. I look through my window and see the ghost of life, a fleeting bat, winged, Oh, I am as old as a sage can even be. Oh, I am as lonely as the first full kinged. The horse of his stall turns away from the hay-filled manger, dreaming of grass, soft and cool in hollows. Does he need jealousy words from John McGuigan's ass that never was civilized in stall or trace? And unmusical bluff boy whistles down the lane, not worried at all about the fate of Europe, while I sit here feeding the subtle pain. One of those tree of God has been uprooted. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. And we're going to stay in the room and then go to Zoom. But for now, in the room, can we have Kieran McCarthy?
Yes, so Rosie, yeah, just big fucking congratulations to everybody who contributes to Bhéal and to Paul for 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah, more power, more power. Just gonna quickly plug our show. We have a show in the Cork Arts Theatre on at the moment. It's called Sticks, and it's it's an exploration of displacement, human displacement in the modern world, and it's in it's a kind of multidisciplinary show going on this Tuesday to Saturday. If you're around, it's called Sticks, and so come check it out. It's in the Cork Arts Theatre, yeah.
Where Bhéal started.
8 o'clock. Where Bhéal started, yeah. It's got, it's a good omen, it's a good omen for the show. It's a poem by Julian Turret. It's called The Common Man, and it was written after World War I. And the Show Collective cover this now. It's usually Bhéal who says it, but in the absence of Bhéal, I'm gonna read it. The Common Man. When plastered billboards scream with slogans, fight for your country, go to battle. When media's print assaults your senses, support our leaders, shrieks and rattles. And fools who don't know any better believe the old eternal lie that we must march and shoot and kill, murder and burn and bomb and grill. When press begins the battle cry that nation needs to unify, and for your country you must die. Dear brainwashed friend, my neighbor dear, brother from this or other nation, know that the cries of anger, fear are nothing but manipulation by fat cat kings who covet riches and feed off your sweat and blood, the leeches. When the call come to arms engulfs the land, it means that somewhere oil was found, shooting black gold from underground. It means they found a sneaky way to make more money, grab more gold. But this is not what you are told. This is not what you are told. This is not what you are told. Don't spill your blood for bucks or oil. Burn your rifle, shout no deal. Let the rich scoundrel kings and bankers send their own children to get killed. May your loud voice be amplified by the roar of other common men, the battle weary of all nations. We won't be conned to war again. Woo!
Thank you, Kieran. I'm sorry, that's Ukraine, and we are going to war again and again and again. And how do you not get sucked into the bullshit? Because at the end of the day, you have to defend your house, and your family. So, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kieran. Next we'll go to Zoom, and we'll have Jeff Cottrell, please.
Thank you. So this is a poem by my friend Cynthia Gould, who is a Toronto-based poet and novelist and musician and painter, kind of a Jill of all trades. And this is her poem, Gutter Stars. Don't tell me that you understand me when you don't know all of the gory details, and the few you have an inkling about make you nervous. Don't tell me that you're listening to me when every word from my mouth is filtered through your mind's interpretation of what I meant to say. Don't tell me that you know where I'm coming from when even your nightmares could not resemble the places I've crawled out of. Don't tell me that you only want to see me happy when you could never believe that the moment I learned how to be happy, I was listening to glass shatter across the street as the boy who had been my lover, my love, 5 minutes before, threw a bottle in rage, the contents of which were the reason why I was lying on the sidewalk. He stomped away over the icy glass, which, like my heart, was smashed beyond repair. And I lay on that cold pavement, more alone than I had ever been before, in the rich neighborhood between the skiddy bar and my apartment. And I cried, sobbed, screamed, not thinking that someone might call the cops, not thinking of how I could possibly crawl home from there, not thinking that I was a glaring target for any sort of attack, not thinking of anything but my own miserable self, when finally I looked up past the gutter, past the buildings, dark trees. I saw the stars, twinkle, tiny, dancing, magic sparkles put there a zillion years ago, just to brighten my black, black night right now in the midst of my tragic loneliness. They made me a little bit happier. Don't tell me that you understand me when you haven't seen the stars from the gutter and realize that it is me and me alone who decides whether or not I will be happy. And again, that's Gutter Stars by Cynthia Gould.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Cynthia Gould. That was a good one to remind us. Yes, that the stars are always sparkling, aren't they? Great. So now we will go back to the room, and we'll have Cathal Holden.
Oh, yes.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna read two poems. One is short. It's by one of my favorite poets, the Dalai Lama. But not the current Dalai Lama. This is by the 6th Dalai Lama, who was a bit of a bad boy. This is called Footprints in the Snow. The 6th Dalai Lama, he was recognized, but he never took the vows. So he lived as a layman, and he was a rake. He was a ridiculous mofo. I love to do. I sought my lover at twilight. Snow fell at daybreak. Residing at the Potala, I am Rigzin Sangyang Gyatso. But in the back alleys of Showtown, I am rake and stud. Secret or not, no matter, footprints have been left in the snow. The Dalai Lama, ladies and gentlemen. He's just a sweet old man. This one is by a friend of mine, Katie Nimona. First people. I see in the eye of my sister, her hair wrapped with seaweed, on the flagstone shore we are walking. The songs of first people her skin is singing. I see in the eye of the needle, the hawthorn fishhook, the hollow and the spindle wood, the spongum and the moon's blood, the fingers ebony and ochre of first people. The hazel tree is laughing, and the bent backwards blackthorn slow and slow collapsing. The berries in shillelagh, the tic-tac tapping, the suck on the shore of smooth stony cove clacked by the tide retracting, first people chitter-chattering. I hear in the caverns of sky and lilac heights of rock left behind, when the steps fell down the mountainside, and I listen to the folds or wrinkle from the lilt of my elders, and in the spiral and the periwinkle the words of first people. And by Umbo Banagher I smell her breath at night, dragging the starry plough across the world's reflections, decanting divinity's connection and unearthing the she-oak stories, the gods beyond the allegory, the mirrors for first people. In the grikes between the flats we catch and flash the of orchids and of sprats, as the fertility of scars shines out to us between the cracks. And I hear the healing chants, claps and whistles, the souls and souls that dance with first people. And I ask the trees, the streams and mountains, that if it is that we would surrender to their wisdom and dance within their rhythms and stop bartering for cash to clash with them and turn the cracks to schisms, that we can receive the truth of what we've been given and be first peoples again and accept what this land isn't and learn from our past, be present, protective, and honour her provision. O land that kept my ancestors, let my grandchildren hear the hazel tree when she is laughing, and feel the red fox through the briars, blazing. Let them plait my hair, grown grey, and notice the stones we sit on matching. Let them live and dance as first people, and sing the songs and stories everlasting.
Thank you, Carl. What's your friend's name?
Katie Nimahuna.
Katie Nimahuna. That's a cracking poem. Thank you, Katie Nimahuna. We don't have any more people on the Zoom unless you want to stick your name in the chat there now in the next few minutes. And we're going to stay in the room and have Sue Blue, please.
Thanks very much. Well, I've decided to do two pieces. They're relatively short each, as in they're short each. I want to think of the people that can't be here. The first person I want to think of, the first thing I want to do before I start is I want to plug our event. We have a poetry extravaganza of a show, the Blue Mondays Poetry Show, preparing for the 24th of April, which is a Sunday. And you can enjoy that Sunday afternoon from 2:30 to 3:30 in Fitzgerald's Park. We're going to be on the big stage and we have something really special prepared for you, because we're not just going to have our 7 readers read in sequence. We are interspersing every solo with a poetry ensemble, meaning an ensemble where 2 or more poets cooperate on performing a piece mixed by different poems from them, or performing just one piece by one poem with 2 people. And the peak of that will be a speech choir with 3 voices, 6 people on the voices. So I hope you can make it 2:30 to 3:30 on the 24th of April. This will be the peak of our Blue Mondays Poetry Anthology campaign for Cork Simon. Cork Simon supports the fight against homelessness. And so we're going to be selling the books at the event as a last thing. And after that, we'll hopefully be able to present a lot of funds to Cork Simon. So the first poem I want to read is of a poet by a friend of ours who cannot be here because she's a mother and she has a very young child with her. And I love the child very much as well as I do the mother. Her name is Anash Bhéal and her daughter is called Erin. And I'm reading my favourite poem out of the Blue Mondays anthology of hers. And this is called She Holds Her Hand, and is dedicated to her 2 favourite girls. She holds her hand with warmth and care. The old wrinkled hand is stroking her hair, and it takes me years back in time when that same hand, the younger, was mine. She held my hand, she wiped my tears, kept me safe throughout the years. That gentle hand never left my side. Oh, she held my hand with pride. Now their hands are intertwined. The circle of life is clearly defined. My future, my present, and my past. The image of two hands in my heart, forever to last. So that was by Anna Bhéal. The second person who cannot be here, who has been joining us on Zoom, is Ada Miles, who hails from Ukraine. She has fled to Berlin, where she is safe now, and she's part of the Blue Mondays poetry group. And I would like to read one of her two poems in the anthology. It uses a Danish word called hygge. Hygge means something like comfort, comfortably, and the German translation would be gemütlich. Some of you might have heard that word because it's very specific to our culture, and this is a Danish word used by a person from Ukraine, and it's called a hygge villanelle. This is the cup I drink tea from. I watch that it's kept intact. Simple things. Hygge, home. Roman things when in Rome. I figured as loudly cracked my favourite cup to drink tea from. I glued it in fierce boredom, or quiet cup gluing sect, in simple things higged home. Ragged, back from a maelstrom, I hope things become exact. That's the new cup I'll drink tea from. A cup's resurrection from shards leaves me awed. Respect, simple things, hygge, home. There is a stitch in my genome, fixing what to protect. Coding that cup I drink tea from. Simple things, hygge, home.
Thank you, Sue and Ada. If you're listening, we're all thinking of you. Next up, can we please have Roisin Leggett Bowen, please?
Yeah, thanks everyone. All your work is just, it's so nice to hear the work read by other writers. This piece I'm reading was introduced to me by another wonderful writer who's in the room tonight, Patrick Genshi. And this piece is called Well-Worn Wings, and it's by Eleanor Hooker. That cabinet in my mind where I put things I'd rather not consider is almost full. Row upon row of stones stacked behind its vast yew doors collapse in on themselves daily like bones in a graveyard. The cabinet sits above high water in the back room named unutterable. I didn't name the room and don't know who did, but I'm conversant with its synonyms. The creature that guards the room is not an eel or a terrible fish. It just is, and occasionally is not. Where I trace the damp blue walls, a soft mold chalks the paint with my impressions. This room is a dark and broken sea where disturbed waters drown time. I catch sight of my well-worn wings, their hooked veins patched blue and green, old wounds. With effort, They wrench me from the water's pull, settle me on a rusty pucane protruding from the wall. Nearby all my birds, obsidian and raven, caw. What? At the question of my unsettling. Remove my unfeather back to the rackus. I pluck quills from my shoulder bones until dismantled, I am back at source, flightless, woman, and unutterably sad.
Thank you, Roisin, and Eleanor Hooker also, thank you. And now we will have Max Creedon, please.
Yeah, one thing is, while we were thinking about Ada, when she's working with us, she's actually very experimental and original, very fascinating mind for a young 24-year-old girl. She just does free typing on her computer, and she came up with that poem because the letters sat together, and she said, well, that looks a little bit like Hughes, and so she created the title and quickly worked with it. And another night she did a fantastic one, series of letters and Y's and Z's, and she decided it looked like an egg from Hades, and we did a very experimental punk industrial version of that. So that has to be great credit to that young woman for the journey she's made. I just picked on this now. It's about aubergines. I love aubergines, and I really love Susanna Truffle, you know. Will you ever say it right? Susanna Truffletti. That's this sort of magic Italian accent reading about the aubergines. But I can't do that, but I'll do the Welsh cock for you. So she can't be here. She's a very devoted mum, and you know, she's magical, glossy little thing. So this is for her. She's reading the exams. I want to do yours, Pam, and I want to do Agostina's, but here we go. The Ode to Aubergines, the testimony of travels and trials, reinvented on every shore they brought you. Ma anciana, we say at home, with the consonants falling on each other as the lip is eating the vowel. Poisonous at first, wild in the far continents. Knowledgeable hands changed your DNA in Africa and India. They say you got domesticated in your tresses of marbled paper and mystery dark purples. Dear pineapple, melanzana, I lightly fry you and put you in a blanket of dark tomato puree, like the good old days when I could smell you as the ferry was landing under the balcony of my auntie's. The table was laid out with the pasta on each side, parmigiano on the other, dark tomato sauce in the pot, and you alone in a bowl. That's how cooks survive, my auntie says, when each of you wants a different combination and layering of the dish. My brother goes for the pasta and parmesan. My parents for the pasta and tomatoes, while I want you, just you, on a velvet carpet of a reduced sauce. Your flesh, home to my teeth, rich, toned, and creamy. I keep you on my tongue longer, feel your weight and succulent fibres, before chewing your saltiness. I taste you, I taste you, I taste you. Out the aubergine.
We're all hungry now, are we? No, I am anyway.
We're gonna go to Mainz.
We're going to have to go to Mainz and eat some food, yeah. But before that, we're going to have Billy Ramsell.
Thanks. I'll pick up on Antonio there and read a poem by Paul Durkin called In Memory of Patrick Kavanagh. But I will say it in memory of Joe Sweeney. Yeah. I awoke with a pain in my head, and my mother standing at the foot of the bed. There is bad news in the paper, she said. Patrick Kavanagh is dead. After a week that was not real, at last I settled down to a natural meal. I was sitting over a roast beef sandwich and a pint in Mooney's across the street from the rotunda, when I heard an old Northsider at the table next to me declare to his missus, sure he was pure straight, God rest him, not like us.
Thank you, Billy and Durkin and Sweeney
And Jackie.
and Jackie. Yeah, and Jackie Shortland, yeah. So that's all people on the list there now. Any more? No. On his behalf. It's not a Paul poem, but thank you, Paul, for all you do.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
for sure. We're all here thanks to you. Well, I feel bad now. I should have Paul's poem here, but I don't. I have a different poem by a lady named Ada Limon. It was sent to me during the week. People don't often send me poems, so it's really nice to be sent a poem. So I'm going to read this, and it's called Mowing. The man across the street is mowing 40 acres on a small lawnmower. It's so small, it must take him days, so I imagine that he likes it. He must. He goes around each tree carefully. He has 10,000 trees. It's a tree farm, so there are so many trees. One circle here, one circle there. My dog and I have been watching the lights escaping the sky, and there's this place I like to stand. It's before the rise, so I'm invisible. I'm standing there, and I've got the dog, and the man is mowing in his circles. So many circles. There are no birds or anything, or none that I can see. I imagine what it must be like to stay hidden, disappear in the dusky nothing and stay still in the night. It's not sadness, though it may sound like it. I'm thinking about people and trees and how I wish I could be silent more, be more tree than anything else, less clumsy and loud, less crow, more cool white pine, and how it's hard not to always want something else, not just to let the savage grass grow. So let's all go and continue with our treedom and onto mains and onto the future. And thank you everybody for participating, and thank you all the Zoom participants. Thank you. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely night and life. Yeah.
See you next week. See you next week,
It's just basically because he's the guy he's given up the coat. No, closing around as well. I don't think I know anyway, it's just he's telling me he can't he's giving up coat never writing again. Yeah, because he's had so many rejections. And also his headspace, he's building the house. So anyway, so then I wasn't with the census and I got accepted. Remember to do what you're doing right now, and what you're seeing, and what you're, just like that.